Step into a realm where the primary fascination is observing individuals ruthlessly thrash the first unattractive target they stumble upon. Amidst this unchanged landscape, we encounter Paco, a relatively average content creator. At present, he's in the midst of celebrating a monumental achievement: 700,000 subscribers on YouTube. Amidst his accumulated influence, Paco has successfully connected with one of his classmates turned roommates. She graces his channel as a guest while embarking on her own journey as a new YouTuber. Proficient in navigating the algorithm's favor, she predominantly focuses on makeup tutorials. However, her treatment of a hapless volunteer who offered to be her model suggests that solitary makeup application in a dimly lit room might be the wiser choice. Meanwhile, Hobin, displaying foresight, avoids agreeing to such ventures. Yet, the looming threat of physical harm serves as a compelling motivator, leading him to inadvertently make a spectacle of himself. He puts on a facade for the camera, attempting to force the most unnatural smile I've ever seen. However, when solitude envelops him, his true feelings surface. The sole reason he endures the abuse is clear. Despite Paco being as dumb as a bag of rocks, his channel turns him into a wealthy fool, thanks to his adeptness at cashing in. It's this knowledge that keeps Hobin enduring the mistreatment. While Ruby doesn't boast as vast a following as Paco, she merely needs to reveal a bit of cleavage on stream to kickstart a flood of donations. On the flip side, Hobin has absolutely no leverage. He lacks intelligence, wealth, and is simply unattractive. For someone in his position, the only recourse is to swallow his pride and acknowledge his lack of prospects. As he heads back to the classroom, he's met with a gut-wrenching dropkick. Another classmate, enraged by Hobin's unsettling appearance which violates community guidelines, confronts him. This is Snapper, Paco's cameraman and a member of a rowdy clique. Despite his prowess in fights, the sight of Hobin momentarily unnerves him. Glancing around for reassurance from his friends, Snapper regains confidence. Eager to ride on the coattails of his friend's success, he volunteers to be Paco's cameraman. The sudden revelation that over $30,000 in revenue was generated in just 20 minutes shocks Hobin to his core, especially considering his chronic financial struggles. Contemplating the idea of starting a new channel himself, he finds that Snapper has similar thoughts. Approaching Paco, Snapper inquires about the process of launching a new channel. Being the supportive friend he is, Paco agrees to assist, but acknowledges that as a minor, Snapper will need adult assistance to sign up and receive revenue. However, this poses a challenge for Snapper, given his strained relationship with his parents due to past theft incidents. So they're not on the best of terms? Snapper then comes up with a brilliant idea and walks over to Hobin, who's still laying on the floor. He currently asks him if his mother is still alive since he knows she's pretty sick. But since she's not exactly using the account right now, he tells Hobin to go steal his dying mother's bank account because he wants to use it. The others laugh at Hobin, and this is a lot of disrespect being thrown his way, which most people wouldn't let that slide, but it's a 3-on-1 right now. So even if he wants to punch them all so bad, he couldn't bring himself to do it. Hobin later goes to the hospital to visit his mother. She's attempting to maintain a cheerful demeanor, but Hobin can see through her facade. Her condition isn't improving. His mother notices the bruises on his face, her worry palpable. It's clear to her that something is amiss, yet Hobin brushes it off, denying any involvement in fights to spare her concern. He retreats downstairs, troubled by the sight of his mother facing a daunting $30,000 hospital bill. To him, that's an entire week spent flipping burgers just to alleviate her financial burden. But then he witnesses others effortlessly making that much in 20 minutes, exacerbating his sense of life's unfairness. Despite this, a glimmer of hope remains within him, nurtured by his proximity to his crush, Bomi. Yet given his luck, he wouldn't be astonished if she starts favoring Paco for his fame. Bomi approaches him, inquiring about the location of the beef patties, and he directs her to the walk-in refrigerator, receiving her gratitude. However, he's not the only one smitten. Hobin finds himself enamored with Bomi, considering her the restaurant's idol. Merely catching a glimpse of her brings him joy. Suddenly, a familiar voice echoes through the room. Paco's. Anxious about being spotted, Hobin is taken aback when he learns that Paco's interest lies in Bomi, who has garnered attention for her attractiveness at Mickey D's. Paco unveils a scheme, challenging Bomi to prepare a burger in 30 seconds. Failure to do so means surrendering her phone number. Feeling cornered, Hobin realizes he must act swiftly to prevent Paco from extinguishing his last glimmer of hope. Knowing Bomi's inexperience, he swiftly intervenes, completing the challenge before Paco can even process it, safeguarding his chance to catch Bomi's eye. With swift hands, Hobin completes the burger and proudly sets it on the counter. Detailing how he meticulously crafted it to his liking, fly included, he knows facing Paco's fury at school tomorrow is inevitable. Yet, he believes it's a small price to pay to safeguard Bomi from Paco's advances. Perhaps his bold move even earns him some favor with her. Returning home later that night, Hobin settles for a dinner of ramen. However, his peace is disrupted by a looming issue. Snapper's demand to stream at his house, backed by threats. As if coercing Hobin into divulging his mother's bank account details wasn't enough, Snapper demands his ramen, which isn't even intended for him. Fuming, Hobin spits in the bowl before reluctantly handing it over. Meanwhile, Snapper rakes in $30,000 in donations from someone else's home, prompting Hobin to contemplate negotiating a share of the revenue for the use of his house. However, as he approaches Snapper, a mishap occurs. Tripping over the extension cable, he accidentally disconnects Snapper's game and spills the hot, saliva-filled ramen on him. Enraged, Snapper launches into a violent assault on Hobin, blaming him for the loss of donations. Hobin is stunned to find himself being attacked in his own home. When Snapper cruelly suggests he's responsible for his mother's cancer, Hobin reaches his breaking point. Grabbing some kimchi, he hurls it at Snapper before delivering a well-deserved uppercut. In the heat of the moment, Snapper retaliates with a punch, but Hobin easily withstands it, realizing Snapper's hits lack force. Encouraged, he continues to fight back, realizing that standing up for himself isn't as daunting as he had previously believed. Grabbing more kimchi, he engages in a food fight with Snapper. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the city, a girl stumbles upon the chaotic scene of two boys battling in their boxers with food. While she doesn't respect their actions, they've certainly piqued her interest. After the skirmish ends and Snapper is ejected, Hobin is left to survey the wreckage of his home, the pain setting in as adrenaline fades. Worries about repair costs gnaw at him, but he pushes them aside, opting to collapse on the floor and drift into sleep. The next morning, Hobin is jolted awake by a frantic call from Snapper, who's in a state of panic. Snapper's panicked voice demands that Hobin take the video down, but Hobin is perplexed, unaware of any footage. He assumed the stream ended when the computer shut down, but the web camera remained active, capturing everything in 4K resolution. Snapper reveals that the fight video has been uploaded to New You and he faces dire consequences if his parents see it. Additionally, losing to someone wielding kimchi is a blow to his reputation. Hobin, incredulous, checks New You and finds the video online, showcasing their kimchi-fueled skirmish. Overnight, their antics have gone viral, spreading across the globe. Hobin grapples with the sudden shift from local to international scrutiny, fearing he's gone from being bullied locally to becoming a target on a global scale. However, just as he contemplates deleting the video to spare himself further humiliation, he stumbles upon a common thread discussing the revenue generated by views. Each view translates to 0.1 yen, and with over 10 million views already, Hobin has made 1 million yen overnight. Back at school, the kimchi fight has become the talk of the town. Snapper, devastated by the plummeting of his social status due to the video, realizes he must act swiftly to reclaim his place on the social ladder. Snapper, desperate to reclaim his social status, targets the class geek, hoping for an easy victory. However, after his humiliating defeat to Kimchi, even the geek has the confidence to stand up to him. Snapper's reliance on PACO's intimidation tactics proves futile now that he's severed ties with him. Meanwhile, Hobin finds himself at the hospital, where he learns that his mother's treatment costs have skyrocketed to $120,000. While this would have been a dire situation before, Hobin is now wealthy thanks to the viral video. Out of nowhere, Snapper Sucker punches Hobin, furious at becoming a laughingstock due to the viral video. He demands half of the revenue generated from the views. However, Hobin, no longer the same timid person as before, retaliates immediately, aiming for Snapper's vulnerable areas. Refusing to share any of the money, he points out that it's all in his mother's account, and it was her details used to create the stream. The fight ensues, but this time, Hobin faces Snapper without fear, having already stood up to him once before. As evening approaches, Hobin finds himself consoling a tearful Snapper, yet he remains resolute in his decision not to share the video revenue. That's when Snapper reveals a video he recorded of their recent altercation. Hobin questions Snapper's intention to post the video, but Snapper wisely refrains, knowing it would likely backfire. Instead, he proposes a partnership, recognizing that with Hobin's help, they could both profit immensely. Despite his dislike for Snapper, Hobin is enticed by the prospect of making money. After all, he played a role in PACO's success as his producer, and there's much about streaming that Hobin has yet to learn. Offering to become Hobin's producer, Snapper intends to manipulate him into generating wealth, while plotting to eventually take control of the account. As they discuss profit sharing, Snapper suggests a lopsided split, with him taking 90% and Hobin only receiving 10%. Seeing through Snapper's scheme, Hobin defiantly rejects the unfair deal, flipping him off before walking away. Snapper, realizing his only chance at redemption hinges on cooperation with Hobin, panics once again, exciting continuation. Hobin, unimpressed but begrudgingly accepting the deal, agrees to the 10% cut. Curious about the content plan, he asks Snapper for details. Snapper, realizing he underestimated Hobin's intelligence, shares his idea: videos of Hobin confronting bullies in real time. In the midst of PACO's live stream, it becomes apparent to Hobin that Snapper is simply trying to gain clout from their viral fight video. Despite their secret plan, PACO coerces them to greet his viewers as planned, introducing themselves as the Bullied Boys. Snapper urges Hobin to initiate their plan, but he hesitates. Suddenly, PACO offers a free PC giveaway to his subscribers, but Hobin boldly accuses him of lying, labeling it a scam and exposing PACO's true nature as a jerk. He reveals his plan to upload evidence of PACO's wrongdoing on his own channel, even displaying the bruises as proof. Though aware of the consequences, Hobin sees it as a chance to earn money, considering he faces beatings at school regardless. As Hobin's revelations captivate some viewers, a mysterious girl takes notice, intrigued by his transformation. Snapper reflects on their success in redirecting PACO's viewers to their channel. However, their plan takes a dark turn when PACO, frustrated by being exposed, reveals that his live stream ended due to a dead battery. In retaliation, PACO viciously attacks Hobin, unaware that Snapper is live streaming the assault to thousands of viewers. Gaining numerous subscribers, Snapper ponders the wisdom of challenging PACO on his own stream. He designates Hobin as the show's star, revealing that the plan was for him to simply endure a beating for views and money. However, Hobin begins to question the profitability of being beaten up. Determined to make significant earnings, he realizes their videos need to gain traction. Doubting if viewers want to witness a kid being bullied, he acknowledges the appeal of a bullied kid standing up to a bully. This change in mindset unsettles PACO and surprises Snapper, who expected Hobin to passively accept the beating. Hobin faces reality when he notices PACO imposing physique compared to his own. Despite considering apologizing, PACO insults, particularly about his mother's cancer, enrage him. In a fit of fury, Hobin attacks PACO, but the chat finds humor in his futile attempts to move the much larger PACO. Adding insult to injury, PACO vows to hospitalize Hobin, worsening the situation. Beside his mother, he body slams our boy, Everyone laughs at Hobin's expense, and he realizes the significant role weight plays in a fight. His scuffle with Snapper seems like child's play compared to his current ordeal. Thinking it's over, Hobin braces for more punches from PACO. However, the perpetually sleeping student interjects, urging PACO to keep it down. PACO's bravado crumbles as he faces off with Kim, a rising star in MMA. Impressed by Kim's commanding presence, Hobin watches in awe as Kim effortlessly silences the entire classroom. Recognizing Kim's dominance in a realm foreign to him, Hobin is captivated. As Kim returns to slumber and PACO retreats, Snapper admires Hobin's display of courage. That night, PACO returns home, relieved that his phone's demise spared him from Hobin's exposure. However, his relief turns to shock as messages flood in, revealing his true personality. In a surprising turn, the video of PACO's assault on Hobin goes viral, prompting PACO's apology during a stream. Unfortunately for PACO, his stream didn't end as he thought, leading to a critical misstep. Things took a turn for the worse as people began uncovering and exposing PACO's staged videos. It escalated to the point where someone created a website solely dedicated to watching PACO's subscriber count plummet. PACO became yesterday's news, but Hobin managed to rise in his place. One day, Snapper announced that their main content would now focus on fights. However, they faced a challenge: video length. YouTube paid based on ad revenue, not views. To earn significant money, they needed to include ads in their videos. The problem was that Hobin couldn't last more than a minute in a fight, and videos needed to be at least 3 minutes long to generate income. If Hobin couldn't endure 3 minutes, his YouTube career was at risk. That night, Hobin searched for ways to improve his fighting skills. Suggestions ranged from years of training, which he lacked, to various martial arts, all too challenging for him. Then, a misspelled search phrase led him to an unexpected discovery: a YouTube channel called How to Fight, with no subscribers but numerous videos. Hobin watched one, where a peculiar individual introduced himself, as Samik Samdak's first step to winning a fight is to never get too worked up. If a fighter can't control themselves, they're no longer swinging their fists, but their emotions. On the opposite end, if a fighter can get their opponent worked up, then they'll have a clear advantage. Samdak also teaches a technique that shocks Hobin, hearing that it allows him to get hit without getting hurt. Hobin watches it, but it all sounds too easy, so he assumes it's a scam for views and heads to bed. The next day, Hobin quits his job at Whackdonald's. Working there won't help pay his mother's medical bills, and he needs to make money faster. His co-workers discuss the guy PACO revealed quitting, and Bomi overhears them. Hobin's boss considers starting his own channel to become famous like Hobin, but Hobin gives him a scary look. Bomi arrives to thank Hobin for revealing PACO's true nature and shocks everyone when she asks for his phone number. Since they won't be working together anymore, she wants to stay in contact with him. Hobin puts her number to use immediately as they begin to text her in class, but Hobin questions if she's scamming him. He points out that it doesn't actually matter and tells her to just take all his money. But she just thinks all his simp comments are him being funny. Snapper arrives to point out how rare it is for someone to reach 100,000 subscribers after just 2 videos. Celebrities can't even do this. But Snapper just wants to know if Hobin has figured out a way to keep a fight going for 3 minutes. Hobin has not, so Snapper points out that they can't let this opportunity go to waste. He reminds Hobin that he is famous right now, but Hobin believes that being famous doesn't always lead to anything good. Just then, he realizes just how wrong he is as Rhea arrives to ask him to do a live stream with her. Hobin says that being famous rocks, and he agrees to do it. The guys are of course skeptical. Surumi explains that her viewers keep asking to see Hobin, and she persuades Hobin. But he looks to his friend Snapper for advice, as he is the strategist on the team. Unfortunately, Snapper's judgment is clouded as well, as he just suggests that Hobin should bring a friend so they can go on a double date. Just then, everyone is terrified as PACO arrives, furious at Hobin for ruining his YouTube channel. Just then, Hobin remembers that Sam Doc's video said that there's no easier opponent than one that is worked up. Paco is clearly frustrated, so Hobin prepares to do the next step, where he gets hit without getting hurt. However, Paco stops his punch when Snapper reveals that he is recording everything. Snapper threatens to upload the video, so Paco swears that he will get his revenge. Rumi hopes that she isn't part of this, but Paco just leaves. Snapper is relieved and points out that Hobin owes him a thank you. But Hobin is still shocked. Everything sort of happened just like Sam Deek said it would. So Hobin wonders just who this mysterious person is. Afterwards, Snapper is late for their meeting, and Hobin thinks about how difficult it is to have fighting as their theme. It's a huge problem, since they probably won't be able to just keep snapping at and fighting delinquents. Instead of thinking of a solution, though, Hobin just decides to text Bomi. Hobin is amazed by how happy texting her is making him. But he is shocked when Bomi says that she would rather hear someone's voice than text them. The slow-witted Hobin assumes that she doesn't want to text them anymore, but what she actually means is that she wants to talk to him over the phone instead. Hobin is ready to call her right away, but some people arrive to say that they are huge fans of his. Hobin is shocked that fame has even made scary-looking people want to speak with him. The guy wonders how much money the videos have made him, and Hobin realizes that they actually just want to rob him. Just then, Snapper comes to the rescue, but he just gets knocked out. Hobin is disappointed to see just how weak. Snapper, who lacks fighting ability, just takes Hobin's phone and tells him to keep making YouTube videos so he can rob him again later. Hobin is horrified because that phone had Bomi's number on it, so he tries to tell the thug to just take Snapper's phone instead. Hobin thinks they should call the cops to get his phone back, but Snapper thinks he's crazy, as he has a much better idea. Snapper, always thinking about creating content, reveals that he was live streaming the mugging, and now all Hobin's fans are cheering him on. Snapper points out that that couple is famous in this area, and he's assured that going after them will get them a ton of views. Hobin wonders if they just want to watch him get beat up again. But he puts that aside and decides it's time to start his live stream. Moments later, we see that Hobin has confronted his two attackers.